Well, that's the kind of intro music you make me suspect I might need the safety clock to attend to. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is GM This just came out recently. I don't know anything about it, but a whole bunch of you suggested it, and you said that it's atmospheric and very, very spooky. And spooky indeed. It's a dark night outside, but it looks like we're in the middle of some sort of cabin where some sort of plans are being hatched. But the fact that I'm the only one here leads me to believe that either I'm stumbling onto something, or perhaps I've retreated after those plans didn't go according to plan. That's the impression I just can't help but get from this. I mean, it feels like we were in charge of something, and that something went really wrong, and now we're just huddling in what was supposed to be the command center. What that something is, I have no idea, but maybe we can start by having a look out the window? Huh. Oh, we're actually high up! I can hear the sounds of the crickets outside, but there's some structure well below us. What about around the other side? I can't seem to get close to this window. What about you? No, I can't get close enough to actually see my surroundings. Alright, this viewport is kind of our last hope. Oh. Yeah, as I suspected, we are in the forest, but suspended high up. Actually, with this railing that seemingly surrounds the entire thing, oh, there's no way. Oh my gosh, we are actually in a Firewatch tower, or something similar. This is so cool. I mean, it's way bigger than any other I've seen. But if there was something important going on here, maybe this is like a central one that organizes communications? Maybe we're a park ranger. Maybe we had a much smaller, less official team than I think in dealing with whatever's supposed to be here. But when it comes to dealing with what's here, I don't think I'm in any position to do anything about that fire down there. I can't tell if it's a campfire, but it's definitely burning bright. Oh, this map looks gigantic. I mean, I can just barely see the dark silhouettes of trees in that bluish fog. And actually, those green glows of the fireflies down below do provide some sense of depth to our surroundings. Oh, look. There's something on that opposite hill with the lights on. Okay, we've got a lot of ground to cover, but I think that is going to be our ultimate goal. Someplace so plainly visible from where we started, but so far, and with a whole lot of dark unknown between us and it down below. There's something over to the right there too, but I can't make out what it is. It's too dark. Alright, I can already tell this is going to be an exciting one. There's just so much mystery. But the first question is going to be, how are we getting down from here? Right here. You know, the map hasn't even done anything. I haven't even read the description. And still, I feel like something's watching me from these trees. It's just got one of those oppressive darknesses to it. Well, there's a gas station right across the street. That's our first place to start. But the presence of abandoned cars, that might even be a police car in the middle of the road, is not reassuring. Anybody here? My God, I did not expect it to have automatic doors. There doesn't seem to be anything back here. We can climb onto the roof via this ladder. Yep. But look, the glow from that streetlight is pretty much the only thing that would suggest there's even anything here. If you're just driving down this road at night, you'd probably never notice the tower up there. Maybe I was better off staying there. Maybe that was the point. Maybe I should have just crawled into that bathtub and killed the lights. The silence is really getting to me. I mean, I thought from that intro music that meant this would be really, really heavy on the scripting. But actually, I'm realizing I can hardly even hear the crickets anymore. Wait, that's not just police. That looks to be military. Oh. It looks like you ran someone over and they were dragged underneath you. You stopped as a result, but whatever it is, it's not here now. And neither are you. What's your story? Oh. It's not just one vehicle, but a column. Doors left open, equipment all abandoned? Okay, no, 100%. We are the remains of some sort of task force. Some sort of task force that I guess didn't even get off the road. Or maybe we're a park ranger who tried handling things with my small group of fellow rangers, realized we were in over our head. Oh, and we probably had to watch from the tower as they were completely overwhelmed, the people who were supposed to be getting us out of this. All right, well, it just further reasserts the need for us to be careful then, doesn't it? My God. The particular blue of that share made me think of, like, the Citizen model, and I thought there was someone standing there. Okay, that is far deeper than I was expecting for a building of this size. All right, let's shut this door behind us. I think we have enough light for now, but I'm really, really nervous about what this map holds. Well, I'll tell you one thing, that it holds clipped stairs. Bonus points right away. Maybe I spoke too soon about the light. Well, that looks like a power box. And those look like blast doors. This is not just a basement. Why is there always an underground facility? I mean, I just can't catch a break. They build these things everywhere. Is there even any rock under the ground anymore? Or is it all just hollow? I don't even know what to make of this, except whatever this was, maybe the military actually already knew. And maybe that's why a desperate call in the night from panicked park rangers actually prompts this kind of response. You know what? I feel like I'm in way over my head. So right now, I'm gonna do my job rather than somebody else's job and try and get to that other tower. I mean, it actually seems much more terrifying than going through the underground facility, but I mean, we're really just trading one unknown for another unknown, aren't we? And this is the unknown I'd be more familiar with. Oh, but from down here, it's actually really difficult to see where I am. I've, like, already lost my bearings. The things I'm looking for are above me, but I can't even see those lights through the trees. And there are some... the terrain is actually really, really complicated. Now let's crouch under these branches. Kind of feel like I might have just heard something over to my left, but it was very faint. Oh, there's that fire, and okay, we've actually already made it. It seemed so distant. All right, the next thing I'm going to check is going to be the fire, but first, let's get into the tower and see if there's anybody else that made it. That's a big hole in that floor, and they have not done a good job patching it up. That is so weird, looking back and seeing our tower in the same distant view. But you know, I'm really concerned about the aliasing because, look, I'm going to have to watch back to see, but I swear I saw some movement, like a shadow in front of my windows. Yeah, this place doesn't seem to be anywhere near as built up as the other one. I mean, they've got their computer, but no plans. Wait, B3 found this key card in abandoned cabin. Wait, I'm starting to piece something together here. So this other ranger found something, this key card, and then after that, everything starts going badly? One moment to just fix the props loading. It sometimes has to be done on these larger maps. But yeah, whatever we were doing, this guy was already into it. It all starts with him, but this is certainly unprecedented. I mean, I saw that key card and thought he stumbled onto something he shouldn't have. But how does that explain whatever this is? Some kind of being, possibly amid the trees? We have to go back out there. So I guess I'll have fun doing that with that thought in my head. Alright, let's take this with us. I can just barely see that fire over there. So I guess we just make a dash for it, right? From one landmark to the next. And after seeing that, I'm putting all sorts of my own thoughts in my head. I'm just picturing some waterlogged, dead thing crawling up out of the lake towards me. Some figure emerging out of the trees. That was not a good time to catch a glimpse of slightly different lighting over there. It is a campsite, but abandoned just as the rest of everything. I mean, it doesn't look like there was any sort of struggle. The camping chairs are still set up, fire's still burning. This would have to be recent, right? So whatever happened, it must have all happened just over the course of tonight. Well, from our perspective, in his cabin, he's clearly been exploring for quite a while, and he was marking the days on the walls. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but a really weird thing is happening right now where, like, the Mufasa ghosts of the chairs are appearing in the fire. I've never had that happen before. I don't know how I didn't notice this thing even in the darkness. Wow. That had, like, such a stomach-dropping effect, like turning around to see, like, the Rustin Parr house or something. But I suppose we don't have much choice, do we? Anybody here? This is where this thing was located. Somebody was clearly staying here. Let's just leave it on the ground for now. And we've got an open door in the back. Not an open door. This place was broken into. Just imagine this. You're just in here taking a bath when some kind of something bursts through the wall. And the next thing you know, you're being dragged through the forest right under the low-hanging tree cover. But what does all this have to do with... Look, I think it's pretty clear that that keycard has something to do with the facility we discovered. But what was it doing here? Oh. This whole place is falling apart. Maybe I overreacted to that back wall being down. But this is something strange to be sure. Family photos? Did something happen with them? Was whoever was here trying to live off-grid? All this right below my own tower. While we're here, I think we do need to investigate the woods surrounding this as little as I want to. I just can't stop thinking about that drawing on the whiteboard. Like, how does that relate to all this military stuff that's seemingly going on in the area? Like, it has to be connected. But all I'm seeing is rock face. No. There is something up there. Some sort of concrete. It's jutting out of the cliff face like a balcony. But how do we get up there? I say as if I can't already guess the answer. It's got to have something to do with that underground facility. Could it really span the underside of this entire forest? Okay, well, it's a good thing we came back then. Otherwise, we would have just hit a dead end, and... Look, here's my mindset, and here's what I like to think my mindset would be in this situation. We're alone, none of our coworkers, no one else in this forest left, not even the military or the police can help. We might as well satisfy our curiosity, right? I mean, we might as well die knowing why we died. And who knows, if we can save ourselves, maybe at that point it's just a bonus. Right back where we started. Just to be clear that there is truly no other option. Yeah, it looks like if we tried to walk that way, we'd just be walking off into miles of nothing. B3, so we're gonna have to be on the lookout for something with that label. But it's now occurring to me we never did see just how deep this thing goes. But if it does connect to whatever is jutting out of that cliff, then, well, this facility must be huge, right? Okay. Well, at least it's not super deep. There's more under the stairs. Tell you what, let's start with the obvious, shall we? Battery-powered lights indicating that maybe things weren't going so good here even before the rest of the military showed up. Or maybe they did and had to improvise. What is this? Something tells me this doesn't appear on any trail maps. Is this some kind of, like, cooling pool or something? I mean, that looks to be a generator or some kind of, like, power infrastructure. Control station's back here. This place is actually pretty large. I mean, look at the size of these hallways, and they're on either side. The rippling of the water under this dull, cool lighting is actually really creeping me out for some reason. It's almost got a rec center pool after hours type of feeling. And yet at the same time, it's comforting because this is the first time I've really been able to see more than 10 feet in front of my face. Although I can't help but feel eyes on me from these darkened corridors off to the sides. But actually, wait. I had assumed this water to be shallow, but from a certain angle, it kind of looks like there might be something below it, not just reflections. Hang on. I'm gonna find a place to put this card down where I can easily find it later. How about right here on the panel? I might have to go bobbing for Easter eggs. And there's also just the knowing I'm not supposed to be here, but also wondering why there's no one around to stop me. Yeah, no, there's definitely something below this grate. I just heard a sound. Like a deep rumbling, possibly from underwater. It's not me moving on the grate. Alright, I might have to stick my head underwater to see what this is. Well, I just humiliated myself in front of the forest spirits, but it doesn't seem like there's anything further below that second grate. Imagine I turn around and there's just a shadowy figure in the doorway that moves to the side as I turn around. There's something about being in a pool or body of water that makes me feel so small. And everything else around me so powerful. It's really such a vulnerability. Okay, well, let's take this. I'm actually kind of impressed that hand transfer actually worked. And continue exploring. There's a door down the end there. We can move around the back here. I think we should just be opening up as much as we can. Okay, so this loops back around to the stairwell. That'll save us some trouble. This is kind of giving me flashbacks to GM's subterranean complex. And that was also quite a scary map for me. This one doesn't want to open. Sometimes it glitches out if I'm trying to hold something, but it's important that we not lose track of that key card, which I don't think is going to be a danger, given how it glows red in the dark. Oh, what am I thinking? Hang on. Nothing. That's actually cause for concern. Sorry, I just think I hear things sometimes. That's actually cause for concern because, aside from a little bit of blood underneath that police car, we haven't seen any sign of anyone. Come on, you. Like, if the park rangers are gone, the campers are gone, the police are gone, the military's gone, the staff of this base are gone. Where are the bodies? And the fact that we only have one bit of evidence that there were bodies at some point, I just can't stop thinking about that. Does that red light perhaps indicate that power has lapsed in some way? I mean, beside the fact that we're resorting to battery-powered lighting in some hallways. They're all numbered 1 through 5. Fans spinning above the grate for ventilation. That sort of gives me the impression that maybe this was some sort of prison, or at least this area. Like they're trying to deny access. It's just kind of weird in its architecture. No, offices. So, kind of a prison. Oh, bunks. Alright, so I suppose kind of a prison. But again, no signs of disturbance, no bodies. Not even any sign that anything was ever wrong here. It's like everybody just disappeared. The only evidence that anyone tried to correct any sort of malfunction is the battery-powered lights in the hallways. But there's just nothing here. Alright, before we do this, and sorry, it's a lot of back and forth, but I need to see what's going on through that door over this way. We're just layering hallways on top of hallways, aren't we? An overturned chair may not seem like much, but it's pretty much the first hint we've had of disorderliness. I am very off-put by the darkness and the blindness here. Let's save this for much later. A weapons stockpile? Wait, Biohazard infectious substance. With a key reading B2. Well, that's not what we have, but perhaps we can get there at some point. So they sealed off this area and put a huge stockpile of weapons and ammo right here? Maybe something went wrong in there and they weren't able to stop it by force and ended up opting to just contain it. Maybe that's what the backup was really about. Maybe it wasn't even our call that brought them here. Maybe they were already on the way, and we were just another data point, having no idea that we were just experiencing the side effects of something much larger going on beneath our feet. Something that was always beneath our feet, I might add. Storage closet. That's fine. I welcome storage closets. Although, you know, thinking back to the lazy days in the Firewatch tower, talking to the other rangers, it seems like there was a parallel culture right down here. I mean, regardless of what this place did or didn't do, all workplaces kind of tend to have the same vibe, don't you think? At least in the downtime. But I'm really getting anxious. And there's something about those red lights all up there that make it feel like something's watching me from above. Like it's really drawing my attention to just how tall this space is in addition to everything else. I can see a switch on the wall over there. But it doesn't look like they want us playing with it. Caution, wait, stay in your group. Do not leave your assigned group for any reason. Use of deadly force authorized. Found more blood. I was trying to see if I could hear anything on the other side, but no such preview. The only way to find out what's in there is to look for ourselves. It's like whatever's behind that door, they knew it was dangerous, but it's supposed to be there? I mean, I just can't help but picture, like, groups of test subjects being herded in there against their will. Just some kind of trial to see how or if they'd make it. But against what? Who knows? Okay, this takes us to here. You know, this place might have been cozy once. I mean, you definitely invested a lot in the break room infrastructure, even if you maybe could have invested a little bit better in carpeting. I'm just saying, if I could get one in Voices of the Void, you can get one with all this staff. Okay, look, maybe if we go through that door over there, we'll at least be above in some kind of observation area that can see what that is. Maintain a healthy state of mind. Do not remove your face mask. Report the sick. It's more storage, but completely destroyed. Level B. It's like, oh my god. Oh my god, I just ate my heart. Who are you? You're gigantic. Found the bodies. 1, 2 right there. But there's candles left all around you. You're just staring at me. I'm not pushing this button. I don't know what it does. What the heck, map? This is... Oh, I bet it opens this. It's a death maze. You were essentially sent in here to die. Is that what I'm to understand? Okay, there must... Is there anything else I might need to try before moving on? Those boxes seem to contain radioactive material. The shrine you've seemingly created right there. Just to sit yourself as the centerpiece of. Did you try to, like, drag them through the wall or something? Third body, it's like... I don't even know how to describe this. I'm looking right at you, but somehow I just can't make out your face, even though I can see details on your shirt. We're gonna push the button and see what happens, but only after we plan our route. We need to get through that breach in the wall right there, right? So we're gonna come through here, run down and to the left as soon as possible. This, of course, assuming this button does what I think it does. All I can say is that it's probably a good thing we didn't try to walk through that door because they didn't make it 2 feet. There's an open door right there as well. Maybe that can be our plan B. Oh, we're gonna have to open this thing, aren't we? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Are those lights supposed to do anything aside from make me nervous? Like, I keep thinking in one of those flashes as it passes over the shipping container just beyond the door that I'll see that huge figure standing over me. I can't even go in with the gun. No! Nope, 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 nope! So there's this huge faceless something that did all this somewhere in here. A huge faceless something that may have some kind of origin beyond scientific. What did this place tap into? Okay, we can get back here, but yeah, no, there's destroyed walls all over. Lots and lots of crates of radioactive waste being stored. What do I even make of this? Yep, let's just stand in the middle because it's my job to check if there are triggers. I really expected to see him standing at the end of the hallway. God, what a where's the spider moment? And when I say that, what I mean is the only thing worse than seeing a spider in your room is seeing a spider and then looking away and looking back and finding it gone. That thing that you were afraid of, but could at least keep your distance. You now don't know what distance is. But it looks like whatever it is, maybe it broke out of here. I'm just trying to work my way around and bring it to the wall that said B3. Because, hey, the sooner I can unclasp my hand around this thing, which is actually starting to cause joint pain, the better. I am got this thing in a death grip that I can't even sentence grammar anymore. Level B. I just don't know what to do. Okay, let's take it methodically. We'll do it the methodical way. God, what am I doing? It's like whoever was standing watch over here, something rushed at him from out of the darkness, and he was just minced, being pulverized through this wall as it came down. But this is a prison, and not in the ironic, sarcastic way, as I talked about the offices. They were actually holding people here. And I guess maybe they held someone they shouldn't have. Or maybe they created someone. I've just got to check each of these. But all this is corners and places for me to turn my head, which distracts me from the end of the hall. Well, we know what that means. Infectious substance. It all started here. I'm just trying to imagine you being here, performing some sort of ritual or something. They're unable to explain what it is you're doing, assume maybe it's some kind of leak. And eventually some guard comes to investigate whatever you're doing and is just dragged in, thus starting your rampage. And maybe those blast doors in the storage area are able to seal you into this place. Ever scientific, they decide that this whole thing is your new containment unit, sending in even more hapless test subjects who used to be your cellmates to try and figure out what makes you tick. But in the end, even though this is where we caught a glimpse of you, you're not at all contained. Then again, if you were before, you definitely aren't now that we opened the door. But there doesn't seem to be anything in any of these cells we can't... Two evil eyes. Okay, I need to not get too close to these bars because I just know that we are at high alert for a jump scare should that happen. I'll tell you what, we were gonna have to step inside at some point. I'm gonna leave this key here. I mean, I don't know what I expected. You know, I can hear movement. It sounded like something was like stomping around somewhere. Since we got stuck in here, I feel like I'm hearing like a lot more bangs and groans. Maybe it's just me because it's so distant and I like to keep it that way. You want me to see, don't you? I mean, that's the only reason I'm still alive, right? Because I don't get the impression after all this that if you wanted to do something to me, there's anything I could do to stop you. Maybe that's why I survived and nobody else below or above ground did. Maybe I'm the witness. I'm just waiting for you to do what you're gonna do. You were slammed straight against the glass. Who knows how long all of this took place over, but the bodies certainly look recent enough. All these doors open themselves. I didn't even notice before. I mean, this whole thing was... I could have sworn I just saw something. Maybe it was just, like, light reflecting in the lenses, but it really looked to me for a second like something just zipped across my vision. I really don't think it was anything, but I just don't know anymore. I feel like a plaything. I feel like I'm just being observed by two evil eyes that I couldn't see even when I stared directly into its face. And just knowing that no one could stop it. And wondering what my place in this is, knowing that I'm still here and nobody else is. This is all overgrown. Is this like an abandoned part of the facility? Or I guess it all is now. So this is one of those safety glockable times. I see we've got our tack light. Oh, what a steep climb. Thanks a lot for the false daylight, though I have no idea what time it would be right now. Tell you what, maybe B3 does actually give me access to the infectious substances area. So much backtracking, but I've got to go see before I move on. I may not get another chance. Like, the fact that I can use the back hallway here... I just realized why this stairwell is sealed off. The fence up there doesn't even matter. Actually, if we really look at this, it kind of seems like this was the last desperate survivor, the only one to make it anywhere near this far. And he was just about to get out, too, start pounding on the gate, when this thing was chucked like a javelin at him. I just get the impression that this is some kind of border. A border not meant to be crossed lest I pay the consequences. I mean, there's a special kind of fear in dealing with something that you think you can't even begin to understand the reasoning of, that seems to be taking a liking to you for no reason that you can tell, but that you get the impression you could offend at any time, and you'll never be able to tell what'll set it off. You know, this doesn't seem to do anything. I mean, maybe there's another key hidden somewhere that we could have used. But actually, if we had looked through here, we would have seen much sooner that this place is indeed a bloodbath. Alright, well, with nowhere else to go, let's go up. Okay, I guess we won't. Yep. Why am I being ejected from this ladder? Yep. There we go. I'm afraid of what we'll see when we get to the top. Suppose things could have been worse. I might have suspected the balcony. We went down so deep and came up so high. But there must be something I'm missing. We never saw anything labeled B3. And we didn't get into B2. We can climb over the ledge here. Ooh. And perhaps slide down this. It almost seems intentional. Or maybe it's just a shortcut to get down here without breaking our legs. Yeah, it seems to be the case. I just wish I knew what this keycard has to do with this cabin and the person who was living here. I mean, maybe it's somebody who used to work at that facility and couldn't take what was going on. I don't know, I'm just having such a hard time. It does seem like this whole place, this whole cabin and campsite, are like some act of protest or defiance, but it's very hard to put into words why I actually feel that way. I'm about 2 seconds away from checking that little pond to see if there's anything to see. Here's what I'm thinking. The pond is the one place we haven't checked. So it's worth a shot, right? Mmm. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm. Hmm? Hmm. So we have a crashed helicopter in the middle of this, which, what a landing. So I've just realized something. This tower up here has gone completely dark. Oh, ours has as well. What is going on here? It's like there's something else just moving all around us that we just constantly keep barely missing. You said you had found that red key card at the cabin. I've been to everywhere, like, multiple times. I cannot find any other key cards. I'm back down in the facility, and now... just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Oh my god! I've been doing this for like half an hour. Alright, fine. Well, let's go. There it is. Huh. This room is completely barricaded. You've also been counting the days. Maybe you also took the key card hoping that whatever was down here would remain sealed. And here I am coming in and making sure that your dying wishes aren't fulfilled. Well, curiosity's getting the better of me and everyone. Come on. You know, I've been thinking about why we're being kept alive. Maybe this is why. Just like Mark would do. This is more like a morgue, but not quite. Because there's another pool right here with the sloped walls, a drain, I guess, for the blood. But you are not like the other corpses. You're not fresh. You're like specimens that I guess have been tossed around and left to rot. No, B3 is the key to the morgue. So something happened originating in here that the security personnel weren't able to contain. Almost like, oh god. Almost like perhaps these corpses got up off their slabs? Could that have been a thing? But nobody back here. You know, the map creator actually sent me a friend request on Steam as I was playing this, so I don't know if I'm in trouble or what, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's if we come to it, if we get out of here alive. Yeah, that slab seems suited to a frame of his size. Maybe these corpses being all over the floor is just collateral damage of one being's rampage. We're not just dealing with something physical, are we? Oh, you're all burned. Like, this containment might have been something that happened a long time ago, given the state of all these corpses, and just imagine leaving your staff, the ones who couldn't get out, to just rot on the floor? Being willing to just abandon entire sections of your base, but still keep operating it. And all of this below our serene little park. Place where we thought the worst things that happen are drunken campers. A place that itself might not have been used even before. And very tall and angry. When you see stuff like that, you start producing all kinds of images in your mind, even without having something come at you. Oh no. I see that blood trail leading up to that door. Oh my god! No! It's Bagul from Sinister, I think. Well, I guess I outlived my usefulness, freed the demon. Oh my god. Hand, what are you doing? That was the most bizarre tracking error I've ever had. And there's a button over here. Wait, I didn't see that before. Oh, there's the lights. I can't believe that after all that, they hit us with a JPEG jump scare. This map was so well crafted, with such a definitive line between the above and the underworld, and so much mystery and so much build-up and tension as you make your way through. The map is open and exploratory, and yet it's also guided, making sure that you experience things, if not in a particular way, at least in a series of potential ways where you still get the intended experience out of it. And that's really cool because the only things physically blocking our progress were the 2 keycard doors. Other than that, our path through this place was entirely up to us. And it all just felt so natural, coming over here and finding the key card and having that sheet referencing that it was found in the cabin, then thinking, oh, the cabin, I should go check there, and then just having one thing after another lead me into ultimately the base itself. I just love the idea of starting us in this open area and having breadcrumbs scattered throughout where we can start following the trail pretty much wherever we wander to first. And then once we actually get down there, things are a little bit more linear, where it's justified in being forced into that sealed-off chamber where we first spotted our friend. There's probably a whole bunch of different ways you could experience this map depending on where you get started, but for now I guess I'll just talk about my experience. So it was really creepy, having no context, seeing first that the military was here and was seemingly wiped out, and then finding out that my coworker in the other tower had apparently seen something that he hadn't told us about. And so for the entire rest of my exploration, I constantly felt like some kind of presence was following me. That continued once I discovered that there was so much more right beneath our feet. And that resulted in it landing so much harder when I actually saw something for myself for the first time. Each one of the scares on this map absolutely killed me. And the reason for that is because this map knows how to choose its moments. There's actually only a handful of scares on the entire map, and only one loud jump scare. Well, I guess unless you count some of the door slamming and such. But the reason those land so effectively is because it spends most of its time just putting ideas in my head, just letting me speculate and explore, and wonder why I haven't seen anything yet. And the longer I don't, the more I feel like something is just around the corner. And then once I do see something, I can never shake that feeling of, wondering when I'm going to see it again and in what circumstances. This map tells a story, but it's dedicated to showing instead of telling, leaving us to sort of fill in the blanks and, I guess, leave us with whatever's scariest to us. I mean, it could have left a bunch of notes telling us about satanic practices or experiments gone wrong. But instead, all we have to do is look at stuff like this and wonder what it means for us, what it meant for them. And the level design itself actually reflects a feeling of constant sinking dread. As we progress through this place, it's kind of divided, in a way, into different sections. We start off exploring the dark but open atmospheric forest, realize that there's something more at play here, find something huge beneath an innocuous gas station or whatever. And as we first begin to explore this place, there's this sense of eerie wrongness. Like, this place looks well maintained enough, but there's no one here. No sign of any reason why that would be the case. And for that matter, why is this here in the first place? Then we go deeper, things start to get darker, almost in a gradient, until eventually we start seeing the first bits of blood. Or I suppose we could have gotten a slight hint even earlier. And then we find the absolute nightmare chamber, more darkness, more blind corners, and now we know there's something down here with us. We find that last key, find the torture and all the horrific things that went on here, and find the morgue, the area where people, I guess, were experimented on, and realize just the level of anger we're probably dealing with. And then at the end, we come down here, this place that is nowhere near as well maintained, that's falling apart, where the paint is peeling off the walls. And right as we feel like we're about to figure out what this all means, well, I guess Bagul's not coming back, but you get the idea. It almost feels like a joke to end it in that way, but, you know, I like the ride so much, I don't even care. And in the moment, the scare did get me. It definitely reminded me a lot of something like GM's Subterranean Complex. But even if I have been through things that are sort of like this before, the way I see it, there's nothing wrong with a well-executed cliché. I mean, I'm so used to exploring underground facilities that harbor dark secrets, but you know what? I nevertheless enjoyed my experience just because it's such a good example of that genre. I guess to sum it up, I could say that for a map that ends in a JPEG jump scare, it's just doing so many subtle things right when it comes to its pacing and the way it guides the player without guiding them, with just the right amount of openness and storytelling, that I really enjoyed my time with it. Hold on, I'm just restarting the map very briefly, because I was told, or at least I read in the Steam comments, something that implies that maybe I missed something here? Yep, lock me in. Lock me into your cell, Bagul. And, oh my god! I expected something to happen, but I didn't know what. From here, we get a sense for just how huge you are. Like, that's the thing, even from a distance, even when we get the opportunity to stare at you for a long time, it just makes it even scarier because we just feel so powerless in front of you. I think doing this in VR was definitely the way to go. Well, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. Okay, all of this landed correctly the second time. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.